Here we are back in our garden city. It's been so long since we have been here. Last time we started to fill out this particular neighborhood in our garden city. What I am doing here is I went ahead and laid down all of our paths and fencing and garden landscaping just like we did on the other side of town. So what I'm going to be doing today is completing this entire neighborhood and really thinking about everything that would be needed so that we can stick with our 15-minute city principle on making sure that you can walk or bike to everything that you would need within 15 minutes, as well as really creating a lot of green spaces and using landscaping to also make sure we have a good mixture in the neighborhood of services but also open green space. So I'm just letting all of this get filled in, and then we will jump in and get started on planning out the rest of this neighborhood so it is the perfect place for our citizens to live. Okay, YouTube magic. I've gone ahead and copied exactly what we did on the other side in the last episode opposite the other side. So all of our main low density residents are now implemented in our neighborhood, and then we'll be filling out the top portion of the circle. One thing that was pointed out to me in the comments is the amount of parking that I have around our metro and tram station, that it wouldn't be realistic to have this much parking. I was kind of thinking of it as a park and ride type situation, but this neighborhood is so small, it would be very easy to walk here to the center of this neighborhood essentially and catch transit. And so it was left in the comments that it might make more sense to make this a place where there is some shopping, maybe a restaurant, things like that. So we are going to start there and use some of these new buildings that we got with the hotels and resorts, hotels and retreats. I love these, and I love that you can pick the different styles and variations. So I think we'll use two of these as some restaurants that are, in the center of town, and then we'll also put in a few little commercial buildings here as well, and then of course do some detailing to bring it all together. But I love that idea in the comments, and I think it makes so much sense to make this a little bit more of a hub for the neighborhood versus just all that parking. I think when we got the parking lots, it was so fun to have them. I did overuse them a little bit in areas. So I think this was a really good call to change this up. It was a little tricky, but on one side I have the local and organic produce, so we can get this nice grocery store here. I love the look of this building with this area, and I think it matches really nicely next to the sidewalk cafe that we have there. And then I went ahead and put in the malls, shopping malls district here, so we can have some sort of nice commercial store on the other side. It was a little tricky to do these zonings so close to each other, but I made it work, and I'm gonna let that building level up so it changes the look of it a little bit. But I think this is a really good start. I want to take advantage here and here as well. So we will just very carefully, it's so tricky when they're close together. I really hope, I know I keep saying, I hope in Cities Skylines too, but now that we know that we're actually getting a Cities Skylines too, I really do hope that we have a little bit more precision with our districts, if we even have districts. I mean, who knows what that game is going to look like, so that's very exciting. Okay, so I think what I want to do is just have it so the building is facing the main road and not the pedestrian road. So I'm going to use a little bit of fencing here. Okay, and this would also be the perfect place. We got this new little police box, which is so adorable. I love little things, you guys know this. So I'm gonna use Move It and bring this right here. I love this. This is so adorable. So cute. Okay, let's get a little detailing done around our little square here that's in the middle of our neighborhood. Maybe Transit Square is what this would be called or something. If you guys have an idea for maybe what we would call this part of the neighborhood, let me know. We've got a tram and a metro stop here, so it's kind of a nice central hub for this neighborhood. It will come into play more once we build out this city, and we're going to have all these different neighborhoods, and then they'll all be connected by transit. The other thing I'm very excited, and I know I've talked about this with this garden city, I have plans for the I've done a university before in Fairstead, my first city, and it was massive and large, so fun to build. But what I want to do this time is really focus on the landscaping architecture of the university this time, and I've got some good examples I have saved up, and I'm really excited with this garden city to build like a really beautifully designed like university. So I'm very excited about that. So again, all these public transit will come into play in bringing people from all these different neighborhoods to our university area that we're going to put in the city. So anyways, let me finish up this detailing and then we will move on. Okay, so on the opposite side of town here, we have our little community school, and we have our library, and we have the elementary school over there. So I'm bringing in the high school on this side. I love these new little parks that we got. They are just fantastic. I mean, especially for like when you're dealing with small spaces like this, because the basketball court asset that we have is quite large. And I love this new outdoor like workout gym park that they put together. I don't know whoever designed that asset, but it's very accurate and I really appreciate it. In a past life at another time, I actually used to be a personal trainer, so I really appreciate the detail and accuracy of items they put in that outdoor gym that you would see. So thumbs up to whoever created that. It's so great to have. But I love that we have all these little things now. It's just great when you're dealing with small spaces like this. So I'm going to fence in this whole entire area so it's all for the high school and do a little detailing in here. So let me get that done. Okay, I really like how our little high school turned out, and I do think that once everyone gets educated, then this will sort itself out. For right now, I'm just going to use the power of Move It to sort that for right now and give that time for our citizens to get educated at the high school. Okay, let's move on. I am so excited to build out the rest of this neighborhood and really think about all the needs and what we need to fit in here to make sure this is a place where you could, you know, get everything that you need within this walking area. So we definitely need some services. So I think we could put police and fire right here. We can use some of our newer ones that we got. They're a nice size. I do love the look of these buildings as well. I think they're really beautifully done. So let me get our police and fire in here. Okay, that turned out really nice, and I like it's right across from the high school. There's kind of a nice corner to tuck those into. Okay, now I want to do our post office and our bank, and I kind of want to put these right here in the center of this neighborhood. So I think I'm going to definitely have them facing the road side, not the pedestrian road side, because the issue with the bank and the post office, they do not work on pedestrian roads, unfortunately. So we're going to just use Move It and get these lined up. I love these two buildings near each other too. I think that they work really well next to each other as well. They have a similar aesthetic and design to them. So I don't know if the same person designed both of them, but they work really nice together. I love the look of these. Very nice. Okay, we do have medical clinic. Let's use their fly car there. I think that'll be good. Let's stick with our regular. Okay. Yeah, we'll stick with all those vehicles as they are. And I see we do have a fire. Are we going to see the fire truck? Oh, here it comes. And there it goes. Oh, what's it doing? Oh, it's turning around. I see. All right, well, there we go. Fire's out. All right. So in this area, I'm thinking it would be good to do some offices so that you could work within the neighborhood if you didn't want to travel outside of the neighborhood for work. And I really like the idea of using the financial district zoning here and catching the buildings at level 1, because I think they will blend in nicely. Because on the opposite side here, I want to use the new Brooklyn and Queens today and do some really nice mid-rise density apartment buildings to help fill out this neighborhood. I think the combination will look really nice of the financial office buildings level 1, and then having the Brooklyn and Queens. I think they will blend nice together. All right, so I'm just going to get this area detailed up while we're waiting for these buildings to come in, and then we will get started on bringing in all of our apartment buildings, which I'm so excited about. Okay, now these Brooklyn and Queens mid-rise density buildings we're going to put in here would look a lot better in a typical grid pattern. So what I'm doing here is actually bringing in some path work behind the buildings, behind the apartment buildings, because there is some nice detailing on the back side of these mid-rise apartment buildings that we got with the Brooklyn and Queens content creator pack. So I think these paths will blend nicely with the back side of these buildings, and also in the middle of these paths. That's where we can put some green space for our citizens to have right out in their quote unquote backyard area, that it would be a shared area with all of the adjacent apartment buildings in the area. So I really like that idea. And then I'm hoping that the path work behind kind of makes up for that we're not in this gridded pattern, so the buildings aren't going to exactly, it's not going to be filled, because you can see how the zoning in here, there is going to be some breaks. So I think it's going to work out well, but we'll see how it goes. All right, let me get this zoned in and we'll start letting these buildings come in, and then we'll see if this is gonna look right or not. We'll see how it goes. Okay, everything has filled in. I like this so far. I think the detailing will really bring it all together, but I like the idea of the pathwork behind the buildings. I think it's looking nice, especially as these buildings level up. There is some nice detail on the back end of these buildings. And so we are building the garden city here. A big part of these types of cities is really quality of life for the citizens, and that really includes a lot of green space, and I think that's really important. So I'm excited to create kind of these communal backyard spaces for all these apartment buildings. It would be so nice if you had something that was just steps from your door where you could go take your dog out, or maybe just throw a ball with the kids or whatever it may be. So I like the idea of having this kind of space, just steps for you to enjoy. And I'm not going to make them anything fancy, but I think just a little bit of something here and there. And then in all these spaces, I'm going to make them feel a little bit different as well. So I think this will be really nice. So I'm going to get to detailing these. I'm also, one's leveling up right now. This is awesome. I'm also going to add a little bit more commercial on the opposite side. So wherever you lived on these blocks, you could either walk to the top of the block or the end of the block, and you'll have some sort of commercial restaurants. Like I said, we've got the bank and the post office, like everything's right here. And with the way that this position is positioned, it's also a very quick walk to either our elementary school or library or the high school, which is great. So I'm going to jump in and get all this detailed, and then we'll come back and look and see if there's anything else that we are missing in our perfectly planned Garden City neighborhood. Okay, this is our first block. I really like how this all came together. We've got a good amount of green space. We've got some nice commercial buildings here. All right, now we just need to do this 3 more times. So I think this is gonna work really nice. And to be honest, if you did live in a mid-rise density, how nice would it be to have this little green space right out the back and be able to, walk and pick up some takeout food or whatever you need to do. So I really like this idea of kind of sandwiching these blocks in between these two kind of commercial streets. I think it just makes a lot of sense to me to have so many things close by and accessible. And for granted, even this entire neighborhood that we're building, just everything, it's very walkable. And the park creates this kind of cut through to the neighborhood too. So that'll be really fun. We'll do that in the next episode. We'll design up that whole park. So not only will it be a convenient way to get from one side of this neighborhood to the other, but we'll also give it some really fun amenities. So that'll be great as well. Okay, I'm gonna get the rest of these 3 blocks done now that you kind of see how I'm doing theirs. There's a little bit of pattern, but I'm also trying to create some variety here as well. And then we'll circle back and start tying in our tram, which I'm really excited about. Okay, I think these 4 neighborhood blocks turned out really nicely. You guys will have to let me know what you think of like the apartment buildings with the green space in between. So now I want to focus back on bringing in all of the landscaping and bring in our tram. So we've got these little bus stops. They're actually from After Dark, and they're actually bus stops from the workshop, but I've been using them as kind of our tram stops. So I think what I'm gonna have to do, if I just bring out a little road here, then I think I can move it and put it on the tram side, but still have it be attached to the road. Yeah, this will work out good. Then we could put some parking here. I think that'll be good to tie in the tram to this side of the neighborhood. These, of course, are from Cities Skylines. They are super cute. So we're gonna move it and just reposition these and add in some landscaping. And then I think I want to do 2 or 3 more of these stops along the back side of this neighborhood here, and that will tie in our tram network, which will be great. Okay, in the planning of this neighborhood, I do want to think about how we're connecting to the rest of the city, and I think this is a really good spot to think about another road over our major collector that's going through town here, or arterial. I think it's an arterial versus a collector. Anyways, it's a highway that I downgraded. It's a highway that went on a diet. It's now a 4-lane road. But I think this would be a really good spot to bring a road over to allow for future connectivity and planning. And I think I can just take this tram track and lower it down just enough. And then I think I can make it so the hill here, or the hot road, is not as steep. We can bring this down quite a bit, and I think the tram can still get underneath. And then we're leaving this bit of road to then go over our other road and connect to other neighborhoods in the future. Let me just see, is this tall enough? Oh yeah, plenty of room. Yeah, I think this is gonna work out just perfect. Let's now move this even closer. That will really help with the slope as well. Okay, perfect. I love this. Okay, along this edge, right across from the high school and in between our tram, I do think I want to bring in just a touch of low density housing. We'll keep with the mid-century modern here, and I think that's going to be okay. We'll see with the noise, but I think it'll be all right. So we'll see how that goes. And then I want to continue our landscaping pattern that we have in between our main collector and our tram road here. So I'm going to get this landscaping put in while these couple little houses build up, and we'll see if they're going to work here or not. Okay, I think those are going to work. We will see. In real neighborhoods and towns, you will see houses that are backed right up onto rail tracks and things like that. So as much as it would be noisy, I do think it can be realistic. So I'm going to continue. This is the nice suburban fence that we got recently. I love it. It has brick at the bottom. I think it's such a nice fence. So I'm going to continue that along our tram road on this side of town. And then I think it might be good to bring in a few more high density apartment buildings, but go with the really colorful ones that we have lining the park. I think that would be really fun. So let's do that. Okay, I think this is looking really cute. Let's move this tram stop right there. All right, let's keep going on our detailing here. Okay, this is looking fantastic. I'm really obsessed with this neighborhood. We just got a little bit more to go here, so we're going to continue with our pattern of fencing and these really colorful apartment buildings. And maybe as we get towards meeting up with where near our library is, we'll put in a little bit more commercial on the other side of that pedestrian road. So I think that's going to work out really well. Okay, we finished our first neighborhood in the Garden City, and we've set ourselves up for connectivity of transit and roads, just to connect to other neighborhoods in the future. I really hope you enjoyed the completion of this neighborhood. Now we still have this beautiful park space, which is what we're going to do in the next episode, and really design a really wonderful park for this neighborhood to use. Now, to be fair, you could leave a park space just like this with lovely paths and lots of green space, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we got those new parks from the hotels and retreats, and there's the one with the lake with the bridge over, and that's what we're going to fit into this park next time. I'm so excited, and then we're going to design around that. So we may or may not keep the pattern that I have here with the paths, we'll see. But I am so excited to dive in, design the park next time, and then think about where we're going to put our next neighborhood, what we're going to build. Really excited for this Garden City project. You guys voted for it, and I'm so happy you did, because this has been so much fun, and I'm just excited to keep expanding and growing this new city within our 15-minute cities map. I hope you all have a joyful day. Just as a reminder, I have a new membership. You can join if you want to. There is 9 videos. I add a new video every Friday. And if that's not your thing, come join the City of Friends Discord. May or may not be some exciting news coming soon, so you definitely want to be there so you can be the first to know. And I hope you all have a joyful day, and I'll catch you next time.